Gene Silva. Gene Silva is a Brazilian MMA fighter who has developed a reputation for his powerful striking and aggressive fighting style. With a professional record of 14 wins and 2 losses as of 2024, Silva is known for his finishing ability, achieving 11 of his victories by knockout and 2 by submission. Below is a breakdown of his main skills in the different areas of MMA. 1. Striking. His primary skill set lies in striking, where he demonstrates an effective mix of power and accuracy. His striking accuracy sits at around 53%, a solid rate that highlights his efficiency in landing significant punches and kicks. Silva's striking style focuses heavily on head strikes, with approximately 76% of his strikes targeting his opponent's head. He combines this accuracy with aggressive volume, landing around 5.37 significant strikes per minute. This rate is high for MMA and suggests Silva's strategy is to overwhelm opponents quickly. In terms of style, Silva employs a mix of powerful jabs, crosses, and kicks to both disrupt and hurt opponents. He also incorporates clinch striking effectively, accounting for 15% of his landed strikes. This versatility allows him to control the pace and positioning of fights while conserving energy by fighting close when necessary. Silva's stand-up game has led him to achieve multiple knockouts, making him one of the more feared strikers in his weight class. 2. Power and knockout ability. Silva's power is perhaps his most defining trait. He has ended 9 fights in the first round, showing his ability to deliver early decisive blows that can stop his opponents before they settle into the match. His impressive record includes 11 knockouts, which make up 79% of his total wins. Silva's knockout style relies on his natural power, precise timing, and an aggressive approach that puts constant pressure on his opponents. He has an average of 1.22 knockdowns per 15 minutes, a high statistic that reflects his exceptional punching power and finishing instinct. Silva's power also affects his opponents psychologically. Fighters who step into the cage with him know they are at high risk of being knocked out, which can lead them to be more cautious. This hesitation can allow Silva to control the pace and distance, setting up his shots without as much pressure from his opponent. 3. Takedown defense. While Silva focuses on striking, he has developed strong defensive grappling skills, particularly in takedown defense. With an 80% takedown defense rate, Silva rarely gets taken down, enabling him to keep the fight standing where he's most comfortable. His excellent defense against takedowns is crucial for his fighting style, as it allows him to avoid situations where his striking power would be less effective. This skill has been especially valuable against opponents who try to counter his striking by taking the fight to the ground. Silva's ability to read and react quickly to his opponent's grappling attempts shows his well-rounded athleticism and strategic preparation. He works on creating separation immediately if an opponent grabs onto him and often uses angles and footwork to evade takedown attempts altogether. 4. Submission skills. While Silva is known as a striker, he has a few submission finishes in his career, both via guillotine choke. These submission wins show that he has the foundational skills needed for grappling, which he can use when necessary. His submission success has usually come when he catches opponents off guard, such as when they shoot for a takedown and leave their neck exposed. This adaptability adds a surprising element to Silva's game, as opponents focused on defending his strikes might overlook his ability to submit them if they make a mistake. Although Silva doesn't focus on submissions, his training in this area helps him stay competitive when he finds himself in grappling situations, making him a more complete fighter. 5. Stamina and durability. Silva's cardio and ability to withstand damage are critical to his success. His average fight time is around 9 minutes, indicating that he can push through intense exchanges for longer bouts if necessary. He absorbs an average of 4.43 significant strikes per minute, which is relatively high, showing that he often fights at close range where he may take shots to deliver his own power punches. Despite this, Silva's durability allows him to handle this risk well, and he has rarely shown signs of being outlasted or overpowered. Silva's resilience is a valuable asset, as it allows him to maintain an aggressive style without worrying as much about the toll it takes on his stamina. His well-rounded physical conditioning enables him to keep his striking intensity up even into later rounds where many fighters begin to slow down. This stamina is a key reason he remains dangerous throughout the entire fight. Summary. Gene Silva's fighting style is a blend of aggressive striking, powerful knockouts, and a strong defense against takedowns, which allows him to control the fight on his terms. His high accuracy and power make him one of the most dangerous strikers in his division, while his defensive skills ensure that he can remain standing and use his strengths. Although he primarily relies on striking, his submission skills and resilience provide him with the adaptability needed to handle a wide range of opponents. This combination of skills has helped Silva rise quickly in MMA, making him a popular and formidable fighter in the UFC. Mauricio One Shot. Ruffy is a Brazilian MMA fighter known for his explosive power, precision striking, and finishing abilities. Competing in the lightweight division of the UFC, Ruffy has an impressive record with 10 wins by knockout and a preference for high-paced, stand-up fighting. Here's a detailed look at each aspect of his skill set. Striking. Ruffy's standout attribute in MMA is his striking. With a 59% striking accuracy, he consistently lands significant strikes, demonstrating a well-trained ability to pick his shots effectively. His striking style is straightforward and aggressive, with most of his attacks aimed at the head. About 68% of his strikes target the opponent's head, while 23% go to the legs, reflecting his approach to disrupt the opponent's balance and mobility. Nearly 78% of his striking occurs from a distance, which is indicative of his comfort at range, where he can use his long reach and speed to his advantage. Mauricio Rufi. Ruffy's striking ability has led to 10 knockouts in his professional career. He is particularly effective in the first round, with 7 of his wins ending in the opening minutes. This early aggression is strategic, as he aims to overwhelm his opponents quickly and force them into mistakes that he can capitalize on. His nickname, One Shot, highlights his reputation for ending fights with a single, well-placed blow, often catching opponents off guard with his speed and precision. Power and knockout ability. Ruffy's knockout power is his most dangerous weapon. His punches are not only precise, but also powerful, and he has developed a reputation for his ability to finish fights quickly. This power is showcased by his high rate of first-round finishes. His strategy is often to pressure opponents from the start, delivering powerful combinations that have proven effective in securing early victories. Ruffy's one-shot style is based on his ability to end fights abruptly, either through his striking combinations or a single, decisive blow. This focus on knockout power has psychological effects on his opponents, often leading them to adopt a more defensive strategy to avoid his heavy hands. This sometimes works in Ruffy's favor, as overly cautious opponents give him more opportunities to control the fight, maintain distance, and set up his strikes. Takedown defense. While Ruffy is known for his striking, he has an impressive takedown defense rate of 100%. His defensive grappling ability allows him to keep the fight standing and avoid grappling exchanges, where he might be less comfortable. This skill is essential for his strategy since it enables him to dictate the fight's pace and positioning. Ruffy's preference for stand-up fighting means he doesn't attempt takedowns himself. His takedown accuracy is 0%, and he relies heavily on his ability to stay off the mat. By resisting takedown attempts, Ruffy can maintain his striking range, where he is most dangerous. Ruffy's takedown defense is based on a mix of strong core balance, effective footwork, and quick reactions. He works on avoiding clinch situations and keeping his distance to prevent opponents from getting close enough to attempt takedowns. His agility and movement play a big part in his success here, as he is adept at using angles to evade takedown attempts altogether. Grappling and ground game. Ruffy's focus is on striking rather than grappling, and his MMA record reflects a lack of submission finishes or offensive groundwork. While he trains in basic grappling skills, his fights rarely go to the ground unless an opponent initiates it. He hasn't shown a strong emphasis on ground control or submissions, preferring instead to keep the fight standing, where he can make the most of his striking power. His ground game may be seen as an area of opportunity, but Ruffy's elite takedown defense allows him to bypass ground fighting in most cases. He prefers to create distance or stand back up quickly if he's taken down, avoiding extended grappling exchanges. This strategy makes sense given his strengths as a striker and helps him maximize his fight effectiveness by playing to his natural advantages. Cardio and stamina. Ruffy's high-intensity style requires solid conditioning, and his stamina has allowed him to maintain his powerful striking over several minutes. His average fight time of about 9 minutes suggests he aims to finish fights before the final bell, yet he has shown he can sustain his pace for longer if needed. This cardio capacity supports his aggressive, high-energy approach, where he's constantly throwing strikes and moving to control the fight's pace. In matches that extend beyond the first round, Ruffy has shown he can adapt his tempo, preserving enough energy to stay effective in the later rounds. His cardio conditioning is vital to his success as it allows him to maintain a high work rate without compromising his defensive awareness. Summary. Mauricio Ruffy's skill set is built around his powerful, precise striking and a strong focus on stand-up fighting. His knockout power makes him one of the most dangerous fighters in his weight class, with a high finishing rate that shows his effectiveness at ending fights early. His 100% takedown defense ensures he can stay on his feet, allowing him to avoid ground battles where he may be less comfortable. Though grappling is not a primary strength, Ruffy's defensive awareness and takedown evasion allow him to play to his advantages in striking. Ruffy's fighting style makes him a thrilling competitor, especially for fans who enjoy high-intensity, knockout-focused bouts. His approach is well suited to his natural abilities, allowing him to control the fight's pace, apply pressure from the outset, and capitalize on his power to secure early finishes. This combination of precision striking, defensive control, and stamina makes Mauricio Rufy a formidable presence in the UFC's lightweight division. Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates is a Brazilian MMA fighter with a well-rounded skill set, a powerful striking game, and strong adaptability, making him an exciting contender in the UFC's welterweight division. Here's a detailed breakdown of his key skills across different aspects of mixed martial arts. 1. Striking. Prates is primarily known for his striking skills, rooted in his Muay Thai background. After spending time training in Thailand, he developed a versatile and powerful striking style, which has become a signature part of his fighting approach. Prates utilizes a variety of techniques in his stand-up game, including powerful punches, elbows, knees, and kicks, all intended to keep opponents at bay or finish fights quickly. He lands significant strikes with a 57% accuracy rate, demonstrating both precision and efficiency. He has a high output of significant strikes landed per minute, maintaining consistent offensive pressure. His striking style is also versatile, allowing him to adapt his approach based on the opponent. For example, he can use quick, sharp combinations to wear down aggressive fighters, or rely on his power strikes to finish fights early. Prates' power is evident in his record, as 76% of his wins come by knockout, which speaks to his ability to end fights standing. This emphasis on striking has earned him several Performance of the Night awards in the UFC, showcasing his effectiveness in delivering powerful, fight-ending blows. 2. Grappling and takedown defense. And although Prates is primarily a striker, he is well trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and holds a black belt, adding depth to his ground game. He is selective with his grappling, often choosing to keep the fight standing to leverage his striking abilities. But his skill in Jiu-Jitsu gives him a backup plan if the fight goes to the ground. Prates has a high takedown defense rate of 80%, allowing him to successfully counter most takedown attempts and maintain control over the location of the fight. His defensive grappling ensures that he can remain in his preferred striking range, forcing opponents to engage him where he is strongest. In situations where he needs to grapple, Prates can use his skills effectively to neutralize opponents, defend against submission attempts, and even reverse positions if needed. His grappling background also means he can transition into submissions when opportunities arise, adding an extra layer of threat to his overall skill set. This balance between defensive grappling and offensive striking enables him to control fights, adapting to the opponent's style and maintaining an edge. 3. Fight IQ and adaptability. One of Prates' standout attributes is his fight intelligence, or fight IQ. His ability to read opponents, adapt his strategy on the spot, and adjust his pacing mid-fight are hallmarks of his approach. Prates has shown a keen awareness of his opponent's tendencies and vulnerabilities, enabling him to capitalize on openings quickly. For instance, against grappling-focused fighters, he adapts by using movement to stay on his feet and exploit his striking advantage. He adjusts his defensive tactics to avoid unnecessary exchanges, opting for clean shots that maximize his efficiency without overcommitting. Prates is also capable of varying his pace depending on the length of the fight. In matches where he faces a long-term opponent, he conserves energy, pacing himself to avoid exhaustion. Conversely, he is highly effective in shorter bouts, where he employs a high-output strategy to overwhelm his opponent and secure an early finish. This adaptability is a key factor in his consistency, as he manages both aggressive and defensive strategies well, balancing high-intensity attacks with disciplined control. 4. Mental toughness and discipline. Prates displays mental resilience and humility in his approach to the sport. Despite gaining recognition in the UFC, he remains focused on his personal goals and the principles that have guided his career. He frequently emphasizes his dedication to his training and personal growth, rather than being distracted by the fame and rewards of professional fighting. This mental toughness has translated into his performances, as he remains calm and composed under pressure. Prates' mental discipline is also evident in his consistency. He trains across different gyms and maintains a rigorous schedule to sharpen both his strengths and areas that need improvement. His determination is fueled by his motivation to represent his family and supporters, and he often dedicates his performances to those who have helped him achieve his success. This focused mindset makes him a challenging opponent as he enters each fight with a clear strategy and a strong sense of purpose. Summary: Carlos Prates is a formidable MMA fighter whose skill set spans multiple areas, making him a well-rounded and dangerous opponent in the UFC. His striking prowess, backed by a Muay Thai background, allows him to deliver precise and powerful attacks, resulting in a high knockout rate. His grappling skills and black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu add versatility, allowing him to control fights by defending takedowns and countering submissions if necessary. Prates' fight intelligence and adaptability make him capable of adjusting his approach based on his opponent, while his mental toughness and discipline help him stay consistent and focused on his goals. Overall, Prates' combination of powerful striking, defensive grappling, strategic adaptability, and strong mental resilience makes him a standout in the UFC. His performances continue to showcase his talent, and as he refines his skills, he's likely to remain a challenging figure in the welterweight division. Caio Borralho is a Brazilian MMA fighter who has rapidly made a name for himself in the UFC's middleweight division. With a well-rounded skill set that blends striking, grappling, and high fight IQ, Borralho is a dangerous opponent who knows how to control a fight from start to finish. Below is a detailed breakdown of his skills. 1. Striking. Caio Borralho has a solid striking game, although he is not primarily a striker. He has 5 wins by knockout and lands a high volume of strikes with a decent accuracy rate of 60%. His striking approach combines both power and precision. He's particularly skilled at landing clean, powerful punches, especially to his opponent's head. His significant strikes are mostly targeted at the upper body, with 65% of his strikes landing to the head, 22% to the body, and 13% to the legs. In addition to his accuracy, Borralho demonstrates excellent control of distance, using his reach, 75 inches, to maintain distance and manage the range of the fight. While he's not known for flashy combinations, he keeps his striking clean, effective, and direct, making him a dangerous opponent in any stand-up battle. 2. Wrestling and takedowns. Borralho has a respectable wrestling game. His takedown accuracy stands at 60%, which means that he can successfully bring the fight to the ground when needed, while he doesn't go for takedowns as often as some fighters. When he does, it's typically to control the pace or to avoid getting into prolonged striking exchanges. His wrestling is a strong complement to his striking. He uses takedowns strategically, especially against opponents who might have stronger striking. On top of that, his takedown defense is also solid, with 77% of takedowns against him being successfully defended. This shows that he is comfortable defending the takedown attempts of his opponents, which allows him to keep the fight where he is most comfortable, on the feet. 3. Submission skills. One of Borralho's strongest points is his grappling, particularly his submission skills. As a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Borralho has secured 4 wins by submission, including his use of techniques such as the guillotine choke, anaconda choke, and rear naked choke. He is known for his ability to smoothly transition between striking and grappling, making him unpredictable. Once he gets his opponent to the ground, he is relentless, constantly looking for opportunities to submit or improve his position. This versatility makes him dangerous both in the clinch and on the ground. His submission game is backed up by his ability to maintain control over his opponents. Borralho is patient and methodical in his grappling exchanges, never rushing into submissions, which allows him to find the right openings at the right times. 4. Cardio and fight IQ. Caio Borralho's fight IQ is one of his most impressive assets. He knows how to adjust his strategy based on the opponent and the flow of the fight. Whether he's striking, wrestling, or grappling, Borralho has an innate sense of timing and positioning. This is especially true when he's facing opponents who are difficult to finish. His adaptability was evident in his recent fight against Jared Cannonier, where he showed excellent defensive adjustments and strategic offense over 5 rounds. Borralho's cardio is also strong. He has demonstrated the ability to keep up a high pace throughout the entirety of a fight. His endurance helps him to execute his techniques consistently, even when the fight enters later rounds. His conditioning is especially important in longer fights where he may need to use his grappling more or deal with a pressure-heavy opponent. 5. Defense. Defensively, Borralho is solid. He has a significant strikes defense rate of 63%, meaning he avoids a good portion of incoming strikes. His ability to slip, block, and move out of range prevents him from absorbing too much damage in the stand-up exchanges. In addition, his takedown defense is also impressive, with 77% of takedown attempts against him being thwarted. This defensive prowess helps him avoid being controlled by opponents, whether they're striking or trying to take the fight to the ground. 6. Mentality and adaptability. Caio Borralho's mentality and calm under pressure set him apart from other fighters. His nickname, The Natural, reflects his ability to adapt to any situation and flow with the fight. He is not overly aggressive, but he's also never passive. He knows when to turn up the pace and when to pull back. His adaptability allows him to execute his game plan effectively, regardless of the challenge presented by his opponent. Borralho's mental strength is also a key factor in his undefeated streak. He has been able to stay composed and make the right decisions in critical moments. This mental toughness and his discipline are what continue to make him a dangerous and consistent fighter. Summary. In summary, Caio Borralho is a well-rounded and skilled fighter with a balanced approach to MMA. His striking is sharp and effective. His wrestling and takedowns are useful tools when needed, and his grappling and submissions are top-notch. His solid defense, fight IQ, and ability to adapt to different situations make him a well-rounded and dangerous opponent in the UFC middleweight division. As he continues to improve and develop, Borralho is definitely a fighter to watch as he rises in the ranks.